And y'all knew I was going to talk about this. Screen Rant gets the exclusive. DC's newest Flash. This is the title. I'm going to explain this in a bit. But for my viewers, our listeners, why do I keep getting it wrong? We're looking at a Screen Rant article. The title says exclusive. DC's newest Flash is a non-binary speedster. Jesus Christ. Now, y'all need to understand how exclusive works. For those of us like myself that work in the music industry, that is something that needs to be approved both ways by way of the company and what you're doing the promotional thing for. And in this case, crafting the article. This is something that DC signed off on. That is important to the point that we're going to make. DC wanted them to emphasize this. Otherwise, it would not exist. They would have not gotten the exclusive. So you don't look at it like, well, that's just Screen Rant doing. No. DC Comics themselves wanted this to be led with. That was something that they just granted the exclusive to Screen Rant. That's how it works. It's not like, well, here's this leak that we're just going to give you that you could get to have. No, they're parading around exclusive, meaning, of course, alluding to the idea that DC themselves worked with them. Remember when I said Jim Lee was part of the problem? And also, remember when I said that this is exactly what was going to happen? For all of you crackheads who be all in my damn mentions and stuff like that, you saw me talk about this. I did numerous videos. I told you that the only reason or the primary reason rather, for DC's future state to exist is so they could tokenize characters. That was the only reason it was going to be a thing. People are, we gotta wait and see. No, you're stupid. I've been around the block, bro. I'm the one that still reads these pieces of trash. Well, this one isn't a piece of trash. Justice League is one of the better books that's actually out. But I know what I'm talking about, bros. I know what I'm talking about. This is what they do. That was that we knew that was going to happen. You were going to get other types of people to fill the roles of characters that you already know and understand. You know who it is that they are. That's the point. They're lazy. They're out of ideas. They don't know how to build characters. And they think heroism is something that has to do with your particular identity. You're like, what you identify as, what race you are, what gender you are. They feel as if that in itself is heroic because they don't know what being a hero is about. This is why you don't have diversity hires. This is why you don't get these freaking, HR firms and all of these folks to be a part of your projects because they don't, this is the sort of culture that they foster. Because they don't know what they're doing at all. They don't know what heroism is. They just see that, well, Batman, Flash, and all of these other characters are loved by America and abroad, right? They are part of culture. They are culturally culturally relevant, right? They have already long, the Batmans and the Flashes of the world, crossed into what would be deemed as pop culture. Even people that have never read the books know exactly who Flash is. They know who or have an idea of what Batman is. The problem is that these no-talent hacks, these talentless hacks, the problem is that they think that the only way to get a character out there is to hijack ones that don't exist. Or, excuse me, that already exist because they can't come up with ones that don't until they obviously conceive them because they can't possibly, the brain doesn't function like that, right? So the only legitimate hero to them is Batman. The only legitimate heroes to them are Flash. Heroes that have had decades upon decades of grinding, of building, of character building to become liked and loved by different households and different generations. So they know that their stupid, idiotic ideas don't work on them by themselves, right? This is why American animation right now is in the tank, because they're getting people that don't know how to write. And they'll even try to come up, which I would rather them do, try to come up with these, let's say, original things. Same idea, leading with the identity and all of that stuff. Not identity of the like hero or anything of like, okay, Flash, right? Not that identity, like alter egos or anything like that. No, I'm talking about identity as in, like I was mentioning, race and all that stuff, gender. They, of course, lead with that. But it's garbage. It's trash. It's absolute trash. And nobody wants to buy this crap. The independent comics that generally exist don't buy into this, that are doing well. Right? That's why I think they hate Comics Gators so much. Because they say they were the one group of people that said, well, y'all suck. Some of them are former writers for DC and Marvel, but they said, you know what, y'all suck. We're going to write our own thing. And now guys like Ethan Van Sciver has a $1 million selling comic book, and probably off of Cyberfrog 1 alone, right, made more money than he ever made being a writer for Marvel or DC. That's why they do that. But people want those. People don't want their garbage. So what they have to do is hijack characters that already exist, that you already know, and they just race swap them. They gender swap them. They do all of these things, and then they parade around the fact that, well, this character's gay, this character's black, this character's non-binary, this character's a woman. Unoriginal, but that's because they don't know what they're doing. Let's see what they had to say. DC's upcoming Future State event will see the debut of a plethora of new heroes. They're not new heroes! Idiot! And they think y'all stupid enough. DC signs off on this crap. They're not new heroes. They're tokenized heroes, which specifically is what makes them tokenized, is how they're unoriginal. They're not new heroes. They're just rape swapped versions or gender swapped versions of characters that already exist. Plethora of new heroes. They think y'all stupid enough to build plethora of new heroes. No, they're not new, you idiot. One of the most exciting characters set to be introduced is the newest Flash, who will be a part of the future Justice League. Jesus Christ, have mercy on my soul. This unbelievable. The new non-binary hero will debut in DC's very merry multiverse, joining the big leagues with the Justice League. DC Comics' upcoming Future State event will shift the DC Universe ahead in time following the events of Dark Knight's death metal. The 2-month line, I thought it was 1 month, now it's 2 months, line-wide event will see the debut of both new heroes and villains, including new takes on Batman. This is how you're going to get Black Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and more. One of the most exciting reveals, I don't know who according to who, exciting according to who, was a mysterious new Flash who had little details revealed about them. Screen Rant has exclusively learned that new Flash will debut in Ivan Cohen's and Eleonora Carlini's DC's very merry multiverse. Jess Chambers, a.k.a. Kid Quick. Fuck. Bro, these guys don't have any fucking talent over there in DC. They have no talent. That's the best they came up with. Right? All right, here's this guy. We know he's going to be the new Flash. What are we going to call him? What about Kid Quick? Lord Jesus, man. This is who DC Comics. They're supposed to be like supreme comic books. They're one of the big two. This is the shit that they're churning out, guys. This is who they came to a round table. This is the best talent. Jim Lee, who I told y'all, as much as you may like him as an artist, he has no fucking idea what he's doing as a leader. None. This is the best they could come up with. They sit at a round table and say, you know what, guys, listen up. We need something new and fresh for the people that read our comic books. This is what we're going to do. We're going to come up with a new line. This is how I imagine they sound. We're going to come up with a new line for a couple of months. And of course, we're going to use those characters after those 2 months. Some will even cross into the main universe. We're going to completely bite off of what we just saw Marvel Comics do. Let's do the same. They crap the bed with their all new, all different stuff. Now we're going to crap the bed. And what about we have this new Justice League, right? And we're going to, of course, just replace the characters because this is what all of our readers care about, right? This is what all of the people that actually be at the comic book store on every Wednesday, this is what they want. This is what they want. They want versions of characters they already know and love. They want gay versions, non-binary versions, and female versions of characters that already exist. So I got this big idea, guys, that we're going to have the Flash that's part of this new Justice League, and we're going to call him Kid Quick. This is what they did. This is what they did. That lets you know how talentless. That's how talentless they are over there. That's the best that they could come up with. So not only are they unable to even write books for their audience, their actual book readers, right? Let's be honest, right? DC has gone all in on TV. This is why they had the whole multiverse thing. They've gone all in on like TV and movies, right? They are now, unfortunately, which even in John Hickman, say what you will about his recent X-Men, but he had enough sense to know that, okay, as a writer of a comic book, if my books show up or my work is depicted in live action form or a cartoon or animation or whatever movie, that's fine. Awesome. But I don't write the books with the intention that that's going to happen. DC now has adopted the complete opposite. They are now doing things specifically because they want these ideas to be canonized so they can depict them. Because obviously that's an argument that a lot of us say, like, this is a needless change. Now they get to say, well, there was a black, oh, I don't know what he is. Maybe he's not black. He looks black. And why they keep doing these to black people who he clearly is a male, right? He's just non-binary, right? Why do they, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a chick. Because maybe it's a chick. Maybe he's transgender. I don't know. But that's a subject for another conversation. We'll do that later. But they are now writing things with the idea that they want it to be shown or show up rather in future movies, cartoons and stuff. No longer can we say, well, there was obviously this isn't like the comics. Now they get to say, well, this book that obviously they won't even own this book, by the way. I'll have more copies of the books than they have. They'll be like, well, it happened. They Google it real fast. Oh, wait a minute. There was this black non-binary Flash that exists. See, no, it's canon. You don't even know what you're talking about. That's why they do that. DC's all in on that approach. They have absolutely no idea in terms of talent. The character is gender fluid, non-binary, and uses they, them pronouns. These motherfuckers. Remember, this isn't exclusive. This isn't Screen Rant's like depiction. Right? No, this is something that DC, this is how it works, guys. Before this ever made it to me, they made sure DC had their guys looking this over. This is what they wanted them to highlight. They don't understand heroism. Being gender fluid is not heroic, motherfucker. No, like that's not heroic. You wouldn't even tell us that if you cared. Matter of fact, I mentioned this. I can't remember her name. But DC Comics post, oh man, what was the chick name? It's like on the tip of my tongue. There was a thing, DC Comics, this is DC Comics Detective Comics, post Rebirth. There was a transgendered character that was a transgendered woman, right? And it was part of that little Monster City thing that was happening. This with the whole, she was trying to help Clayface or fix Clayface or what have you. I cannot remember her name. I did do a video on this. And the only reason you knew that she was transgendered was because you had to use your context clues. She said some line along the ideas of like, I know what it's like to be like, feel like you're trapped in another body or something like that. That was pretty much all that was said. And then they went about it. It was never mentioned again. Even though she played a role, it was never mentioned or it wasn't highlighted or anything like that. It just happened. Right? Obviously, that's the Tinians of the world and all them. They know they can do a much better job of depicting that than whatever this crap is, where they gotta put the shit on a billboard, right? They have to let you know because that's the only reason why it happened. That's the reason why it happened. Doesn't even look original. He like a black Quicksilver. Anyway, the character is gender fluid, blah, blah, blah. Cohen said it was important to create a new, different version of the Flash readers haven't seen before. They're admitting their laziness, guys. They're admitting their laziness. This is what they do. I suggested that Kid Quick could be Earth 11's first gender fluid character. And once editors saw Eleanor, blah, 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 terrific take on the character design, there was suddenly an interest in them for stories. They're telling you, bro, they're leading with the fact that the character is gender fluid. They have no idea what being a hero is. When you have to lead with the fact that, well, the character is gender fluid, nobody should even give a shit if that person was heroic. Nobody would even give a shit. But the fact you have to wear it on a billboard is obviously speaking, and you're admitting to the fact that you led with that. You just wanted a gender fluid version of Flash. You have no idea what you're doing. It's absolutely amazing, but it's par for the course, and it certainly represents. It represents current era of comic books, guys. So I know some of y'all are like, yeah, man, like you was right. Yeah, I was right. And I don't like to be right about this sort of stuff. I just tend to be right about this sort of stuff. This is what happens. They are out of ideas. But with their own social views and social preferences and stuff like that, they want to take characters that already exist, that are already notable, that you already know, and they just want to swap them and tell their story. It's lazy, but they mainly do it understanding that if it was their own character, original character, that shit would never get off the ground.